You know, as we enter into a brand new year, there are some people who make resolutions. There are other people who have given up because the resolutions never seem to happen. They never seem to get to them. So it's just an exercise in frustration. I've got a suggestion for you. I've got 4 simple steps that will help you make and keep, whether it's a resolution or a goal or whatever you want to call it, 4 steps that will help that become a reality in this brand new year. Step number 1, you have to write down 1 to 3 goals, resolutions, whatever you call them. And they need to be sorted out into 5 different areas. First has to do with our relationship with God, your spiritual life. The second has to do with your relationship with other people. Then with regard to your financial life, your health, and your work life. And when I say your work life, I mean what you do with the productive hours that you're awake during the day. Now, in the area of your relationship with God, maybe we're talking about reading through the Bible or setting aside a time to pray every day. Maybe you want to go on a mission trip and serve people. In regard to your relationships with other people, maybe you want to strengthen your marriage, or maybe you want to improve your relationship with your kids or your parents, or maybe you want to figure out how to make some new friends. With regard to your finances, maybe it's time to make a budget. Or maybe you want to start a savings plan or become a tither. With regard to your health, boy, that's one that we oftentimes think about. Maybe you want to start exercising, or maybe you want to lose weight, or maybe you want to get onto a healthy eating program. With regard to your work hours, maybe you want to become a better employee or maybe a better boss. Maybe you need to find a new job, learn a new skill, or improve the skills that you have. Maybe you want to write a book. But whatever it is, take the time to write down 1 to 3, not dozens of them, 1 to 3 in each of these areas that seem important, that would make 2013 count. Step number 2. You need to then go back to those individual goals and figure out what needs to happen, what steps need to take place in order to make those goals a reality. Part of what happens here is you weed out some of the goals that aren't realistic. Because as you look at the steps that have to be taken, the things you have to implement, you recognize the fact that's not a valid goal. So now in each of those areas you have 1 or 2 or 3 goals that you're going to move forward with. And from there you need to take step 3. You need to make yourself accountable. You need to put dates on the calendar. You need to tell somebody, your spouse, a dear friend, maybe it's your pastor, but you need to have somebody who knows and somebody who in a loving way will hold you accountable and ask how you're doing. Step number 4, this is the fun step. Right now, before you take that very first step to implementation, you need to decide how you're going to celebrate. And then all through the year, as you accomplish these goals, you're going to have rewards that you give yourself for accomplishing the things that you've said you're going to do. So maybe when you create the budget, you reward yourself with a special meal or a treat at Starbucks. When it comes to losing weight, maybe you do something special like buy yourself a new outfit. But whatever those goals are, you find something that makes that a finish line, something rewarding. In Ephesians, Paul talks about the fact that we need to live carefully. And when I read that word carefully, I read the word intentionally, not just in a whatever kind of a lifestyle. We need to have plans, and we need to be focused on making every day count. Because when we make every day count, then we make 2013 count. Paul says, make the most of every opportunity. Dear friends, God has given you 365 opportunities in this new year to make 2013 the best ever.